Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 of the Ultra Sud podcast. Now, you talk about football, you talk about guests to get on to speak about football. Mr. Katsanis, welcome for the second time. You've been on 50% of the shows. I wasn't good at maths, but you've been on 50% of the shows. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be back, Kosta, after a 3-week break. And again, good to be here. Can't wait to talk more EPL football.
Now, look, the crowd clearly loved you. We had Jeevan on after you, and then we had Luca on last week. And let me tell you, Luca, fan favourite. I was getting messages from John Travolta, from a lot of people, John Travolta, and Luca, they love him. They're very, very big on Luca Corrado. So, you know what they say? It's very hard to back up the best. Now, if you can back up the best, Kotsi, then you're in for a good one. We might even get you on for a third time. If you're not, then you can go home.
Look, if I don't get on to the third time, I think there's a problem. So I might have to speak to the CEO of the show, and then we can see if we can get on a third one.
Yeah, we'll speak to the boss and see what he thinks. Now, again, we're on the pitch still. We're in the clouds today because Man United, we've got to touch on them after. I don't know. They're not on this planet. They're somewhere up high. They're just out of this world, but in a bad sense. Now, we're in the Real Madrid kit because of the new signing that we've probably got to sign. Touch wood, fingers crossed. Casemiro. Now, Kotsi, what are you wearing? Before we get on to Casemiro.
I'm wearing a Liverpool retro shirt, I think 1997. It's got Chamberlain on the back, but he wasn't from them. But it was Robbie Fowler era.
I did see that before. Why is Chamberlain on the back?
Oh, he's just my guy. Just one of my guys. I love him. Yeah. Probably going to leave, to be honest. Wouldn't be surprised if he does.
I like Ox, though. He's dating Perry from Little Mix as well. I know.
Look, it's a football show, Kosta, not a
big fan of Little Mix.
But yes, no, retro shirt, so another Liverpool top. Again, yeah, questionable jersey you're wearing, but well, if Casemiro signs, you can get him on the back or get a United shirt with him on the back.
Hala Madrid, I tell you. Now, Kotsi, before you were on this podcast, we've introduced a new segment since the latest one, since you were on. Now, ultra good, ultra bad. Now, I'm going to throw you some stuff. We're going to discuss it. Ultra good or ultra bad? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is it good or is it bad? Quite self-explanatory. Now, you actually suggested this one yesterday. We're going to go first. Ultra good, ultra bad. Half and half scarves. Now, if you don't know what we mean, let's say, Man United versus Liverpool this weekend. You've got half Manchester United and half Liverpool. Do you like them? Do you not like them?
Is there an option for ultra maybe in this one?
Why did I know you were going to be the first one to introduce an ultra maybe?
See, look, there's so much conversation about it on soccer Twitter, but I'm going to go ultra good. Only
you like it
if you're in a country that have them and it's not like a big EPL team or it's a lower league. But we don't have a lot of them in Australia. But I think it's okay, to be honest. Like I don't think. Look, if you're a traveller,
I understand that for that reason. If you're coming from overseas, you're going to a game such like England, for example, or a Champions League game, and you don't really have any affiliation to a club. Then fair enough. I can understand it. Like if I'm a Man United fan, I'm not going to go to a Liverpool versus Man City Premier League game and get a half and half scarf. That's silly. Do you agree with that or no? Because I can see your face and you're making that weird face again.
It's kind of, I'm just in the maybes, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Like, if I'm going to, Champions League game where nothing to do with any of the teams, I'd probably just get one. But then I can still see with the bad side of it. But I'm just kind of in the middle, to be honest, with that one.
All right, we'll go ultra maybe, the first one, of course. We'll consider go for an ultra maybe. Next one. Now, we mentioned it previously here yesterday at Ultra Football, here at the Ultra Sud podcast. We've got noise going on, which is going to maybe ruin it, but we'll just talk a little bit louder. Frank Lampard is the most overrated manager in the Premier League, Kotsi. Ultra good, ultra bad. Now, I'll take this one first before you can think about it. I'm going to go ultra good. I think he's extremely overrated. I made a call yesterday that if Ange Postecoglou was English, Frank Lampard wouldn't be the coach of a Premier League team, and Ange Postecoglou would be.
I'm going to go, one, don't really rate Lampard at all, and good. That's not being biased.
No, I don't like him.
Being a Liverpool fan and him being at Everton.
I hate him.
But ultra good, I agree. And again, yes, if Ange Postecoglou was English or another nationality, he'd probably be in the Premier League by now. But again, we're not doing the SPL show. But
Lampard or Gerrard as a manager? Come on, Kotsi.
At the moment, I'd be going Stevie G still.
Yeah,
100% Stevie G.
But at the same time, I actually don't think Gerrard's time at Villa is as good as what people might be making it out to be.
Not
Remember,
yet.
he went
Not
in
yet.
with quite a decent squad, and he picked them up when they just were underperforming with the squad they had. But I don't think he's quite yet got them back or not back, but to the level where I think people might have expected them to be at. Meanwhile, we've got half of Ultra coming down. Diego Carlos is injured for 6 weeks though.
I think the full season.
6 to 8 months. Sorry.
6 to 8 months, Achilles injury.
Huge injury. That.
I think, again, Lampard's, took the Chelsea job. Everyone goes, play for him, then do the Chelsea job probably a bit too soon. Did the derby, didn't get promoted. Maybe if he got promoted, it would have been better. Gerrard, did his time with the Liverpool Academy and done the right steps, then gone to Rangers, won the league in a COVID year there, but again, still killed it. But I think Stevie G is better, to be honest.
You like it? All right. Now the next one, ultra good, ultra bad. Not Alex. Alex is ultra bad, not ultra good. Gabs, I don't know. Ultra good or ultra bad for Gabs? The king. Ultra good, ultra bad. All or nothing Amazon series. Now we know Arsenal have just got one coming out. Tottenham had one previously. Man City had an Amazon series. Have you watched any of the Arsenal one? I haven't yet, but I'm sure you've seen some clips and stuff. Ultra good, ultra bad. They sort of Amazon series where they let you behind the scenes. Obviously, they've got to edit it. Now, I was speaking to one of the guys yesterday at coaching, and he was saying, look, he really likes it. Not an Arsenal fan, but he really, really enjoys it. I love that Sunderland one, the Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. I enjoy seeing behind the scenes, but he goes, you can clearly see they've made Arteta look like the man.
This one, ultra good. No other option. I have watched it. I'm up to the last episode, and I will be finishing that today. I won't give you any spoilers.
Awesome. Netflix
it is good. I think the Man City. I watched the Man City one, the Tottenham one, Sunderland one. I also just finished watching Crystal Palace one from when they got promoted, which was actually really, really decent. Yeah. It's a good insight, and again, I think it coming out just before the season, and now they're starting to do well. You can see that. I think Arteta's going to be the man. You can see the struggle that they've gone through. But no, very, very good series. So that's ultra good.
Ultra good. Michael, ultra good, ultra bad, Amazon series, like Arsenal.
I'm all in.
You're all in.
That's a good one.
In.
Get him on the podcast next.
One day we'll get Michael. He just stands at the cage and watches us every day while we film. But one day we'll get him on in the actual hot seat. Now, Kotzi, I agree. I like it. Ultra good for the thing. But Arteta... We'll see how Arsenal go, because they're getting all excited now. Just you wait, Kotzi. For Arsenal to go...
I don't know yet. 2 weeks in, but too early. Still 36 games to go.
Still very, very early. Now, last one. Manager scruffles. We saw Conte. We saw Tommy Tuchel getting into it. Alex, you're a coach. Do you like getting into a punch-on with the manager? Of course. Alex.
Of course he does.
No, of course he does for that one. Conte is the best. I personally love that stuff, Conte. I'm going to go ultra good. Get a bit of ticker in you, get a bit of fire in you. I think Tommy Tuchel made himself look like an absolute goose. Because Conte wins that fight every day of the week.
Now, look, you're a coach. I have coached.
I try, yeah.
And not at an EPL senior level. Look,
my under-12 girls team, they're pretty good, mate. Actually, last, but yeah.
It's good to have passion. You can see that there was passion from both blokes. Don't know who would actually... I think Conte would win in a fight against Tuchel.
Yeah. Manager Royal Rumble. It's always a thing that comes up.
It does.
Rumble.
At Stamford Bridge as well all the time. Arsene Wenger, Mourinho.
Yeah, that's right. Mourinho loves to get in it. Who wins Manager Royal Rumble? We had a bit of a WWE reference last week. Manager Royal Rumble in the Premier League. Look, I think Ten Hag is a bit of a dark horse, but I think he might go out sort of last 5. Jurgen Klopp's first out. I think he's all persona. Klopp thinks he's a tough guy. But look,
we can't be biased. I've been told the fans aren't here, but not to be biased. But that's if that's what you think.
You know who I think wins it? Actually, I'm going to change it. Thomas Frank.
From Brentford.
Yeah. Brentford.
Something about him, eh?
Thomas Frank.
Something down.
I reckon he's got it up there. I reckon he's smart. He's got to be the one that slides underneath the ropes, and then right at the end, when Conte's at the top, he's like, "Yes, I'm the champion. I've won." He comes out with a little clothesline from behind, throws him over the ropes, and Thomas Frank is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I love it. Okay, that's my prediction for that one. Now we're going to get on. It was a huge week of Premier League. Okay, so we're going to touch on some of the key points from last week that happened, and then preview obviously some of the biggest games. As we said, Man United, Liverpool. That's our 2 teams. We're super keen. Tuesday morning here in Melbourne.
5 a.m.
Australia.
Pretty terrible time. I hate
Tuesday.
5 a.m.
Why on a Tuesday? Taco Tuesday's turned into Premier League Tuesday. What's going on there?
I'll ring the Premier League and sort it out for next season, honestly. It's a bit of a shambles there.
Now, speaking of shambles, Manchester United. Kotsi, bro, we lost 4-0 to Brentford, Kotsi. I'm trying to forget about United, but I walk in here every day. We've got the new United kits in. We've got the new Crystal Palace kits in. I go, you know what? I'd happy to be a Crystal Palace fan. Kotsi, we are bad.
It's not looking great. And
Nah, you reckon?
It's a shame because now who's going to step up? This Ronaldo things.
Casemiro. I think goals is a real issue for us. I think Rashford and Sancho, I love them, but they just can't beat the first player.
Where you can see since probably the first game, as much as it's, we're not talking about transfers today, but you can see Man United have been linked with a lot of players.
Yep.
I think Ten Hag now is kind of not pooping his pants, but now I think he understands, it's not pre-season anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just trying to get any players. But yes, at the moment, it's not looking good. And this big fixture coming around so early. And look, Liverpool aren't doing great as well. 2-2 in the first game. 1-1 in the second game against Fulham. Crystal Palace. Fulham the other way around. Darwin Núñez.
Tell you what.
Red card.
Darwin Núñez. Now, I've had strong thoughts about Darwin Núñez. And what I've always... I think he's a good player. I feel like every single week I say the same thing. Luca Corrado was heavy on me. He called me out for a bit of the stick that I've spoken off him about Darwin Núñez off camera. But I think that was just a prime example of you're new to the league, you're new to the big leagues. He had a defender that just knew what he knew. Anderson knows that Darwin Núñez is a much better player.
Experienced by Anderson. There was a clip on Twitter. Of him just pushing him all game,
and that's
irritating
just old school defending that. And so many defenders do that. Like it's not the first thing we've seen.
It's not the first time.
Darwin Núñez was the one to react. And again, I think that comes to his maturity sort of levels. It comes to his experience. So because he is still young, he's still new to this big league. And Anderson knows, as a defender too, he knows that he's not going to catch up to him. He knows that technically he's not as good as Darwin. So how can I try and stop him and give myself the best advantage? And that's just to absolutely play mind games with him, which ultimately worked because Darwin lost his head. I'd love to see a couple Man United's headbutt some players because I think Man United players go home.
I think they need to headbutt more
in the shower and just whatever, I think United players need a bit of ticker like that, like a bit of Darwin Núñez does.
Thing is, I get what you're saying, Kosta, but that's not, for me, that's not ticker, to be honest. It's a bit of
no, I agree.
Embarrassing. First home game. Of course, we were 1-0 down. And I think that frustration as well. I think the fans' frustration as well, trying to get the boys up.
Do you think that not change the Liverpool fans' perspective on Núñez, but Liverpool, we know, a huge fan base and an extremely sort of cultural fan base as well. And we know that when they love you, they adore you. But also, because I saw a couple clips and stuff as well, and some stuff online where Liverpool fans not start to turn on Núñez, but we're sort of making like, hey, is this the sort of player that he's going to be? Is this what it's like? As you as a Liverpool fan, has it maybe made you a little bit more cautious about your perspective on Darwin Núñez as an overall player? We know ability-wise he's there, but as an overall player.
Look, 3 weeks ago when we spoke about him, I think there was a little bit of hype. Everyone was a bit excited and worried what was going to happen. I hadn't actually watched him play properly. That was the first time. And look, I think he's still young, still a lot way to go.
Yeah.
Look, we've had some crazy players before. Luis Suarez won, another Uruguayan. Thing is, he did stupid things.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Fighting people, racism. Look, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
But what he did to back it up, goals, assists, nearly took us to the title. To do it so early with Núñez doesn't get you off to a great start.
Yeah. And you raised a good point there. If Núñez was, he scored the first week, but if Suarez was that player where, okay, he had his own sort of issues. I guess you can put Ibrahimovic in that sort of aspect as well. Like he might go and do a silly little challenge or something here and there. But if you can back it up with top performances week in, week out, like a Luis Suarez did, then we can make an exception.
And that's the thing as well, doing it so early now. Look, who knows how many weeks he's going to get. People have said 3, people have said 5. I think it could be 4 or 5.
Really?
So that's the thing. Suarez did, and don't get me wrong, what he did was wrong. He had the 10-game ban, but when he came back, he was on fire, and exactly. The players love the fans and the players love that. But now it's How is Núñez going to get back in the squad if, Jota comes back and he's from injury and stuff like that? So, look.
I think that will be the exciting thing to see how he does come back. How he comes back when he plays, and is he there to sort of make up for himself again? Because obviously he puts out the apology and stuff like that, says Liverpool fans, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But it will be interesting to see. Now, I'm going to throw you another question, because Man City, we know they're sort of guaranteed to finish top 2.
Yeah, 100%.
If not, they might. Liverpool's dropped points now in both games. Man City haven't.
It is.
Some are even saying the title race is over. Is Kevin De Bruyne the best player in the league? Stavreski's luck. Is Kevin De Bruyne the best player in the league?
Have you ever heard of Mo Salah?
Oh, Mo Salah. They're Liverpool fans.
Again,
That's
I
why
was going to say, if
them
we're
on.
talking about midfielders, I'd put Jordan Henderson next to him, but
I put Casemiro. Casemiro.
to answer your question, Kosta, look, he probably is, to be honest. There's not really anyone getting goals and assists every week.
He's in an unbelievable team. But Kevin De Bruyne, man. What a
Thing
player.
is, if you're standing out in a team like that, he's priceless. Look, he's not going to go anywhere else. He's not a South American who's now going to go, I'm going to go to La Liga and I want to play in that league. Yeah. He's going to be in the Premier League for a very long time.
Are you surprised that a Real Madrid or someone haven't really pushed for him? Or is it because they kind of know that Man City are going to turn around and say, okay, here, give us 150?
I think they'd want a big price tag. And I think, when he was at Chelsea and then left, I think he always wanted to come back to the Premier League.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd have aspirations to go to La Liga. Look, there's a lot of teams now or players in the Premier League that go, I'm done in the Premier League. Where are you going to go, Bundesliga or La Liga? Okay, I don't see him going back to the Bundesliga. It would just be, not pointless, but he'd be going to Bayern, he'd be winning the same amount, to be honest.
Look, he's not slowing down and he's not that young anymore either. So he could almost do a David Silva sort of thing where he's at Man City for a very long time, and then he might go back to a Wolfsburg to finish his career off or something like that.
Or he's from Belgium, so he might go back to the Belgium league.
Exactly, but back to Belgium, something like that. But I think he's got many, 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 many years left in top flight football.
100%, and again, he's not a Messi or Ronaldo, but again, one of the best midfielders in the world, and he's shown that in the last couple of seasons, and he's been a big, big part of the Man City's title win last year.
Probably got a statue. I'm going to go and say he's got to get a statue.
I think he will. I think he's one of those players. I think maybe one more season. Look, and again, it's hard to say at the moment right now if the league's done. Again, when I think it was Gary Neville and Carragher, they said...
Peanut.
It's like us two. It's like us two.
Oh my gosh.
Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher.
It makes sense because you're the weird one.
I don't know. They're both weird, but we're both weird though.
His voice annoys me. Jokes, but if you want to come on when you come to Melbourne, come on.
Get the boys on. But Dave's saying, when pretty much for the last 6 years, 100 points is your top. If you're say, Liverpool, you've already dropped. You've got 2 points. You've already dropped 4 points. To get 100, it's
going to be very tough.
And that's the standard, and that's what they've built. Man City and Liverpool have built, and that's again.
But Liverpool did a bit of the similar last year, though. They did start off so. I remember that 3-3 draw to Brentford. There was a couple games here and there that just didn't quite go your way, and then look what you guys did. The only problem is you're now competing against the Man City team that didn't have Erling Haaland.
Look, you're correct, and I think again, I know we spoke about Arsenal a couple of weeks ago. I think they're a team now that if they continue their form, they will stay up in the league. And again, the ladder at the moment, you've got Brentford up on 4 points. Tottenham again on 4 points. You don't know what's going to happen. So look, but again, to answer your question, De Bruyne taking Mo Salah's spot, or no, I reckon they were equal.
Yeah, I agree.
But the start of the season already.
Is up
number one.
Let us know in the comments down below. Is Kevin De Bruyne the best player in the league? I'm going to go and say he is. Fred with a close in behind second.
Don't start.
Casemiro.
Casemiro hasn't even signed yet.
We're not even going to sign him, and this is going to look like
you're going to look like an idiot.
That's all right. I'm good at doing that, Kotzi.
I was going to say that's me too.
I get told. Love you, Kotzi.
Whether you Carragher
and Neville. Monday night football. Change it to the Ultra Sud podcast.
Friday morning
football. Oh, that's actually all right. Friday morning football. FMF. I like it. Sweet. We'll speak to the boss.
We'll speak to the guys.
We've touched on a little bit of last week's football. Now it's a new week. It's a new time. It's a new time to be alive. Liv, are you in Brazil because Casemiro is joining Man United?
To say no, say no, say no, say no.
Casemiro.
She's a Liverpool supporter,
People
so
know
she's
it.
ranking for Fabinho. So
No, it's for Casemiro.
no, again,
21 is coming.
That's going to be
Consi's
that's going to be a conversation. Who's the best Brazilian CDM, Fabinho or Casemiro?
Casemiro.
No.
Don't ask
All
any
right.
questions.
No, I don't want to do it.
All right, now let's look forward. And we're going to touch properly on Man United Liverpool. I know we dived into it a little bit, but I want to hear predictions. Now, I've picked out 3 of, I guess, the biggest games.
Yeah.
I've got a local derby. And it's actually a game that I'm looking forward to see it. You look confused. Newcastle United versus Manchester City.
I thought, honestly, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to talk about Fulham Brentford. I thought we were going to talk about that derby.
Mate, Newcastle Man City. It's a derby.
It is a derby. This
It's the battle of the Arabian
Arab,
princes.
Saudi Arabian, whatever you want to call it, derby, money derby.
It's huge.
Cash.
Winner gets like $50 billion.
I'd love that money.
I'd love that money too. What would you do first with $50 billion? Careful, Kotzi. Would you win state NPL 2, which is happening tomorrow? Tell the people where. Come on.
Sorry, quickly. As much as we want to talk about APL, I thought I'd talk about NPL. If you're watching before Saturday, so 3 p.m. down at Moneywell Park, Campbell Reserve, North Geelong Warriors versus the Moreland City, 3 p.m. kickoff for the title. If you're a Moreland fan, please come down. If you're a football fan, please come down and support the Morleans. If you're support North Geelong, please still come, but don't support too loud. But yes, let's not talk about NPL. I'm sure that's another show down the track.
Since we're just talking about ourselves, last week we were mentioning the 1-0 finals and we did lose 3-2. You can catch it on the 1-0 channel, but yeah, we did lose. And
I think season 3. Season 3, third time lucky.
That was season 3.
Oh, okay. We're on season 4. All right, season 4.
I know, but look, sometimes in life, Kotzi,
You can't.
sometimes the hard way is the best way. And that's what I love the most about it. Now, Newcastle versus Man City. Kotzi, don't look at me and laugh like that.
Oh, you're looking at me and laughing. So.
I'm going to go out and say Man City win 2-0. I think it'll be a great game, though. I think if Newcastle can bring it to them, I think it'll be a half-decent game.
Look, Newcastle won the first game against Forest. Second game, who did they play? I haven't done my homework on Newcastle, unfortunately.
They drew 0-0 to...
Sorry, guys, just getting up the laptop.
Brighton.
Just to 0-0. Yeah, I saw the highlights.
That was a good game. Like, a good game in the sense of the two teams, and I mentioned it last week, the two teams that are sort of battling for that next position.
I think, again, as you say that, Brighton, again, did well last year. Look, again, I think we spoke about Newcastle the first time about the transfers. Didn't get a lot of players in with the money, which is, I think...
Not what they would have expected,
I think. Eddie Howe's now going to build with what he's got.
Yep.
Then maybe one or two. I think Madison is linked.
That'd be an interesting
which
one,
would be a good signing. But look, I think this game, it's at St. James. Couple of years, last couple of seasons, Man City drawn there. Kind of a dark horse, Newcastle are. Got that right this time. But look, I think Man City's just going to continue, and it's going to be.
They're a strong team, man.
I think. Can we? Do we do scores?
Yeah, go.
We do score. I think it's going to be 3-1. I think New Man City going to go 2-0 up, and Newcastle will score late, and then I think Haaland's going to get another 2 or 3. I reckon he could get 2.
You're a fantasy guy, yeah?
I am.
Fantasy?
I am.
Do you have Haaland in your team?
I do. I think I need to put him as
Are you
captain.
captaining him or Salah?
Look, the last time we went to Old Trafford, Salah scored 3. Sorry.
Oh,
But
no,
I don't think it's.
smacked.
I don't think it's going to be that. But we'll get to that. I think I will be captaining Haaland, but I think it's still going to be difficult because again,
Newcastle defensively, they're okay.
Defensively, they're okay, but that stadium, they're a big club. So look, it's not going to be easy.
Now we mentioned it previously, Chelsea and Conte and all that sort of stuff. Chelsea and Tuchel. Sorry, Tuchel, whatever you want to call him, Touche, something like that. I think there's a real concern with Chelsea. And I know some people aren't really getting along that with me, but I'm not as big on Chelsea as what some people might be.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm honestly, and we look, mate, I tell you, mate, we're on. Kotzi with a C, Kosta with a K.
We're on.
No Kotzi's corner, but.
No Kotzi's corner.
I do agree, and I think we spoke about that, again, in the first show. 1-0 win at Everton, penalty. At this point, and again, not being biased, you should be beating Everton by a lot.
Yeah, they suck. We've got the new kits in. There's a nice pink one, but the rest of them, Everton suck.
I don't know. We've got too much stuff. Anyone want to come down and we can have a fire at the back? We can use that stuff.
I'll pay for them first.
Last week, 2-2 draw against Tottenham, and you've got Leeds away. Again, Leeds.
I mean, look, Tottenham did score last minute, so they were close to beating Tottenham. But I'm going to go out and say, Kotzi, Leeds get an upset this weekend.
I think they do.
And they beat Chelsea.
Again, are they? I think they won their first game.
Yeah.
Last week, I think
they were close.
I think they drew 0-0 last week.
Yeah. I think they've got some decent. I don't think Leeds will do that well. I had them to get relegated. I still think they might. But they've got. I like that American kid, Anderson.
Yes, Anderson.
Tyler Adams.
Sorry, the coach. What's his name again?
Jesse Marsh.
Jesse Marsh, American, right?
American.
Again, not.
Lots of Americans. How do we not have Aussies, but we have Americans playing in the Premier League and managing?
It's again, Ange Postecoglou, cracking bloke, amazing manager at the moment. But again, not SPL show. But at the moment, I think Leeds. I think we can tick Leeds for this one, or I can see a 1-1 draw, but it not being a great game. But again, Allen Road. You know, big stat, well, not big stadium, but
you know, I'm gonna go 2-1 Leeds.
2-1 Leeds.
I think this could end up being the game of the week.
I reckon I'm gonna go bold.
Gotta go bold.
John Joe Shelby's in the other game,
but
it's gonna be 3-0 to Leeds.
3-0 Leeds. Hey, Michael, you're a Chelsea fan, aren't you? Kotzi just said Leeds are gonna beat you 3-0.
What do you reckon? Nah, I'm not. But what do you reckon? What's the score?
Jess, what do you reckon?
Chelsea 2-0. Who's going to score?
Jess, don't be shy. It's not often you're
Jess, you go for Chelsea, don't you?
Man United beats Liverpool this week.
What's it? Score?
1-0.
1-0, and you've got Michael's prediction 2-0. Havertz amount. All right. Comfortable.
Michael, if
in
that's
the derby. Right, oh no, it's not a derby. Sorry, that's the other London.
Michael,
derby.
If that's right, we'll get you on the podcast next week. All right, so you heard it, and I know you can't really hear them, but we'll translate it for you.
Sorry,
that wasn't a joke about Michael, but
I'm going to continue with the football.
Yeah, please do.
So sorry, just on I've seen 2 games here that are quite good. One, the first one, Crystal Palace Villa.
Yeah, I was going to put that one in.
Sorry, I saw it last night when I was doing my research. It's caught my eye only because I watched Crystal Palace on Tuesday against Liverpool. Very good. Zaha looking on fire. Probably could have scored a hat-trick, to be honest. And look, as a Liverpool fan, I would have just crawled up into a ball and cried. Yeah. But again, we've got the new Crystal Palace shirts in. I watched the Crystal Palace documentary. I think they're going to have a good season. I think Vieira again.
Crystal Palace.
I just think they're going to do really well. I think, again, pre-season they had most of their players in England because not vaccinated. We're not going to talk about that. No politics here, mate. But they looked really good. Eze, number 10.
But yeah, at least he got his DMs leaked a little bit. But you like Palace. Do you think Palace can beat Villa? I've got some strong opinions on Villa. I don't think they're as good as what people have.
It's at home.
Carlos is a big thing.
It's at home for Palace. I think if Vieira gets the boys on a good run, they'll just not win the league. Not get Champions League, maybe, do a West Ham, what they've done in the last couple of seasons.
I think they definitely could in the near future.
Yeah, 100%. And again, Wilfred Zaha's not going to leave again. I just watched a documentary and he's been there since a kid. He went to United and came back, and I think he's just going to be a cult. He's going to get a statue.
Probably. I know it's Crystal Palace and stuff like that. Does he need to have that really that player of the season, not player of the season, that team of the season sort of thing, or a big FA Cup run where they might lose in the semis or something for him to kind of have something behind him?
Look, he's got I agree, but I don't agree, because just with Crystal Palace you can get they're a bit not up and down, not like relegation. They're just form.
No, I agree,
again, very good player. Unbelievable player, and he's just again I watched a documentary from when they got promoted, and he pretty much got him to Wembley against Bruyne, that derby. That'll be good to talk about on the show when they play. But I think they'll do well. And against Villa, again, I watched them on the weekend against Everton. Again, we don't think too much of Everton. And I know you're not a big fan of Stevie G.
Nah, can't
a lot of
stand
people
Gerrard.
aren't, but
Can't stand it.
they're looking all right. Kamara in the midfield, number 44.
Decent
Again,
player.
I watched him and I watched his highlights.
Decent player.
Decent player. Bondea come on, changed the game. He scored.
They got depth. It's just whether Gerrard can get the best out of that depth, which I think personally so far he hasn't quite done as well as I think maybe thought he might have done.
I think coming in, what he did last season was a good job.
Yeah.
And again, I think now it's again a time for him to get them up as a West Ham type of thing. Coutinho's injured. My boy.
Now, Kotzi, you're a Liverpool
happy.
fan, as we've mentioned.
Yep.
Once Klopp, let's say Klopp, hypothetically, in 2-3 years is out the door. No, maybe not because you guys are poor, just maybe it's like, you know what, I've done what I can. I'm going to leave on a high. Do you think Gerrard is the fit? Because I think, and I you know, my mate Dimio, that he's a Liverpool fan too, and he goes, I'm not too sure about Gerrard to Liverpool. I think it might be just a little bit too much of a stretch. Assuming Liverpool are going to still be that top 2 threat like you are. If for whatever reason you drop down, not even to a United sense, just to like that top, maybe like a Chelsea period sort of thing where you're still good, but
it's not,
you can identify that transitional sort of phase. I don't know. Look, and again, we're trying to guess the future, but I think Gerrard, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's that guy.
Look, there was a lot of talk. I think it was in the summer or their summer. Gerrard's going to be the manager. Yeah. Gerrard's going to, he won the look, Scottish League again. Got to talk about that just quickly. Look, it's not the best league. It's competitive, but Rangers and Celtic will always be the two. And you've got, your Hearts, your Hibs, your Aberdeens and stuff like that. He won the league. Now Celtic won 9 in a row. I've watched interviews and that's what he wanted. That's what he got told. You've got to stop the 10.
Yeah.
Right? He stopped the 10. Of course, in a COVID year, but it still counts.
Yeah. No.
And it's a good start because, again, if you've beaten Celtic after 10 years,
good.
It's huge, right?
You got to give credit where credit is due.
Now, coming into Villa, big club, and I'm sure for us, we don't think it as big. Sorry, we're talking about Stevie G. Sorry, just interrupted.
Sorry, before we got rudely interrupted.
And again, coming in.
Go home.
Sorry, we're just trying to do a show here.
Sorry, continue, Kotzi.
Coming to Dean Smith's team, but now he's done a few signings. Do I think he'll take the Liverpool job in a few years? I think yes, but I think he still needs more time. Look, and he's not going to win the league with it. Like, you never know. He could do a Leicester and they could win the league.
Probably
but I think him doing how he's done it, the steps, is a better than Lampard, to be honest. Because Lampard's just going down and down. He's ruining himself as a manager.
Yeah.
I think Gerrard's, academy, Rangers, win the league, come to Villa, then he'll take that step when the time is right. I don't think it's now, but it will be soon. Yeah,
I agree. I think that's a good point by you, Kotzi. Well done. Great stuff. Now, the last one, and we'll touch on it a little bit quicker because we've mentioned it here and there. And we've got a Mr. Man, the new 23-year-old, entering his Michael Jordan era. It was his birthday yesterday for Jevin. So let us know in the comments down below. Say, happy birthday, Javinho.
You'll get your second call up soon,
Jevin, quickly, we're about to touch on United Liverpool. Give us a quick score prediction.
3-2 United.
3-2 United. So the United fans are confident. I'm confident as well because United are good at this. They're good at making you feel weird.
They are.
Because we're not good, but we know that.
Thing is, I just...
Something
and look, I'm a bit worried as well. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's at Old Trafford.
Yeah, well, 5-0 last time. But it doesn't mean nothing. They could play at Ultra Sud and it could be 10-12-0. They should play here.
Yeah, no, you're funny, Kotta, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, they definitely
should play 5v5 here.
Definitely should.
Makes it easy for you guys.
Now,
I'm being serious. 11v11, you couldn't do it.
Only 5 players to score instead of 11. For Liverpool sense.
We'd probably score.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb and just crazily say that Man United's got to win 2-1. I can feel it, Kotzi. It's the start. Ten Hag's got to come at home. He's a big boy too. Like, not a big boy, but like he's a scary, intimidating sort of guy. And I reckon Ronaldo's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder too. So what he said about the interviews, he goes, I'm going to come out in 2 weeks because I wrote journal and I wrote down all these articles that were writing stuff. And he goes, I'm going to say everything in an interview.
I might do that. Do we have journals? Do we have journals? I'm going to keep you to this. If you guys win, I'll buy a journal and I'll bring it here when I come back for the third time, and we'll write in it. Kotzi's stories. Kotzi's everything.
Kotzi's everything. Just branding himself at this point.
I'm going to look. There's a lot of
2-1 United.
being saying 0-0s because we're us two very good at that. The last couple of seasons, not so much. I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as the last two games, 5-0 and 4-0. Sorry to bring that up again, Kosta.
Yeah.
Hang on. Sorry. Quickly. Will, you're a Brighton fan. Brighton, West Ham. You're a Brighton fan? Yeah, so Brighton play West Ham away. Are you guys going to win? Quickly. What? 3-0 to Brighton?
It's a
The London
bright-
Stadium?
Hasn't he left?
I think he's gone.
Well past gone.
But
no,
thank
we're
you,
back.
thank
He
you,
comes
Will.
back, He comes back.
When you come back, think of a player who's going to score.
Now, Kosta,
Sorry. Back to the big game.
We need a prediction for the Liverpool Man United game.
Look, I've got two in mind.
2. All right, just tell
Two.
us every scoreboard possible. Then if
Oh,
that's the
I
case.
could. Sorry, 10. Nah. One of my mind thinks. One side of my mind thinks it's going to be 0-0. Just the casual, good old 0-0 draw. Man United, Liverpool.
Yep.
But then also, I think there's going to be goals, and I don't think it's just going to be us this time.
Because so far you guys have been a little bit shaky down back. Van Dijk got skinned by Mitrovic.
And I look, as much as I don't want to talk about other podcasts, but I watched the kickoff. True Geordie, Lawrence, they were talking about that Mitrovic and Van Dijk. Mitrovic is just a big, bulking striker, and Van Dijk, I didn't watch the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't get time to watch it, but I saw the highlights, and he bullied him.
Yeah.
Even with the goal against Crystal Palace, Zaha just jogging, and
Yeah.
again, it's not good standards.
And Van Dijk kind of slowed down. He
Yes,
closed
yes,
down.
and I saw that footage.
Might be a little bit of lack of confidence level as well. So imagine when it comes up against Cristiano Ronaldo, and Ronaldo does a little bang bang and then just and the United's pumping again. We won.
Can we?
Yeah,
I hope
that's
the
a-
Liverpool do a no celebration, but
Before we wrap it up, Will's brought up the phone. Before we wrap it up, your final score prediction. I don't want 2 predictions.
You
I want
just
your
want
final
one? All right, I'm gonna be faithful to the
Javen
boys.
watching.
Javen is watching. I think it's gonna be.
Come on, Kotzi, hurry
I
up.
think it's gonna be 3-2.
3-2
to
to who?
Liverpool.
Javen, did you hear that? 3-2 Liverpool. He's gone. I don't know what's wrong with this
James
kid.
Milner with 1.
Oh, that's enough.
Oh,
All right,
that's
ladies and gentlemen,
Jordan
thank you
Henderson
for
with another
watching.
one.
You shush you, because you're going to get us cancelled. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching episode 4 of the Ultra Sud podcast. Kotzi, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you,
Thank you
Kosta.
very much.
Thanks for having us
Hopefully-
again for the second time.
Hopefully we're still friends after Tuesday morning. I'm back here on Thursday.
Any Man
so-
United fans, after Tuesday, if Liverpool lose, don't talk to me.
Now, let us know down in the comments down below if you do know anyone here from Ultra. Who do you want? I'm going to throw out some names. Actually, no, you can tell me who you want.
In the comments, I reckon,
In the
in the
comments down below.
comments.
Who do you want to see on next? Throw a random name, and not him.
Not Javen, but- not
He's
Javen.
He's the vacuum boy. Who do you want to see on next? Keep in mind, we might need some diversity soon, so we might get a first female guest next week. Terence Carter. There you
Carter.
go, Terence. This is my call out to you. Next week, Friday morning, 9 a.m, Ultra Sud podcast. See you there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I'm Kosta. This is Kotzi. KC. We love to see it. Like, subscribe, do that business, follow the socials. Catch you guys next week.
Up the Reds.
Come on, United!